Has China now unleashed both the PLA and its Coast Guard in a direct challenge to a key U.S. ally? Did Beijing turn Scarborough Shoal into a heavily militarized zone almost overnight? Are China's full-scale drills now turning Huangyendao into an outright fortress as a brutal warning? Is Xi's government now firmly telling Manila to stop the propaganda once and for all? South China Sea tensions have surged once again as Beijing responds sharply to Manila's latest move at Scarborough Shoal. On August 7th, China held fresh military drills around Scarborough Shoal, which Beijing refers to as Huangyendao. Beijing said these exercises were a direct response to what it called Manila's latest provocations at the United Nations. China's PLA Southern Theater Command conducted joint naval and air training exercises in the waters near the shoal. China's Coast Guard separately carried out law enforcement training exercises across the surrounding waters, according to Chinese statements. This training reportedly covered reconnaissance missions, active patrols, sea control operations and joint strike capabilities. These drills followed the Philippines' formal submission of a new Scarborough nautical chart to the United Nations. China claimed this Philippine chart violated its own sovereignty and declared the entire submission null and void.
Huangyendao is China's inherent territory. China has continuously, peacefully, and effectively exercised sovereignty and jurisdiction over Huangyendao, and is the only country entitled by international law to declare the baselines of the territorial sea of Huangyendao. Relevant actions of the Philippine side seriously violated China's territorial sovereignty, international law, and the basic norms of international relations. They are illegal, null and void. Our exercises stand as a serious warning against violations and provocations by the Philippine side. These are necessary and legitimate measures to safeguard our sovereignty over Huangyendao and our rights and interests. In fact, since its independence in 1946, the Philippines has expanded its claims of territory and jurisdictional waters through domestic legislation while claiming to follow international law. Its behavior has led to wide wariness and dissatisfaction, as well as resolute opposition from other littoral countries to the South China Sea. We urge the Philippine side to immediately stop its illegitimate acts violating China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests, and stop its provocations and propaganda. The Chinese military will take firm and effective countermeasures against any provocative attempts to make waves and stir up troubles in the South China Sea.
Chinese forces say they activated full combat readiness on July 30th after spotting a Philippine aircraft near the shoal during their latest patrols. The PLA reported that the aircraft was detected while its units were carrying out readiness patrols around the contested Scarborough Shoal area. Scarborough Shoal remains claimed by both China and the Philippines, making every patrol and overflight a new flashpoint in the wider South China Sea dispute. China's Southern Theater Command deployed both naval vessels and air units around the disputed reef, signaling a joint air-sea posture rather than a simple patrol. During the latest mission, China deployed its new Type 054B frigate Qinju, using the modern warship as the centerpiece of the patrol force around the shoal. The PLA also used the JL-10 jet during a readiness patrol here for the first time, marking the aircraft's debut in frontline air-sea operations over Scarborough Shoal. The JL-10 is an advanced trainer aircraft, but it also carries a secondary combat role, allowing it to switch quickly from instruction to operational missions. It can perform both patrol and ground attack missions, giving commanders a flexible platform that can surveil, warn, and strike if required. Analysts say it is better suited for dealing with slower surveillance or government aircraft, which often cruise well below typical fighter speeds. The jet's strong low-speed handling makes it ideal for interception duties, letting it escort or push back propeller-driven planes without overshooting them. As a trainer, the JL-10 can operate from a wider range of airfields, helping China project air control from more bases across distant maritime areas. Overall, the aircraft is being used to strengthen China's distant maritime patrols, tightening air management and control over far-flung sea zones. At the same time, the Chinese Coast Guard carried out law enforcement patrols around the shoal, reinforcing the military presence with police-style actions at sea. China said multiple Philippine vessels were spotted, warned, and ordered to leave, with Coast Guard ships using loudspeakers and maneuvers to push them out. This latest confrontation comes on the heels of massive drills held by the US and its Asian allies, turning the shoal into a stage for competing power shows. Amid rising tensions between China and Taiwan, the United States and its Asian allies have just wrapped up a massive set of joint drills in the South China Sea, underscoring their shared concerns about Beijing's behavior. The US, Japan, and the Philippines ended a major 5-day maritime exercise on July 25th, after operating together at sea from July 21st to 25th. These drills brought together warships, Coast Guard vessels, fighter jets, and surveillance aircraft, forming a multi-layered joint force across the contested waters. The Philippine military said the exercises were focused on improving allied interoperability, ensuring the three forces can operate seamlessly in any future crisis. The drills mark the latest expansion of trilateral security cooperation in the region, part of a broader pattern of increasingly frequent and complex joint activities.
We extend our sincere appreciation for the successful conduct of today's 17th Multilateral Mutual Cooperative Activity. Your teamwork, precision, and cooperation greatly contributed to the success of our engagement. It was an honor to train alongside you. We look forward to more opportunities to sail and train together as nations striving for the rule of law and freedom of navigation. We hope you enjoyed your stay in the Philippines. Until we meet again, fair winds and following seas. Onwards!
These exercises are just the latest in a growing series of trilateral security drills, each one expanding in scale and ambition as tensions with China climb. Manila, backed firmly by Washington and Tokyo, is using these drills to counter China's sweeping maritime claims and reinforce its own position in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippine military deliberately did not disclose the exact location of the exercises, a move likely intended to avoid giving Beijing a specific point to contest.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.